Ever thought about jazzing up your vehicle with a personalized license plate? Well, folks in Uganda might have to think twice about that. Welcome to a world where owning a personalized license plate is becoming as expensive as a small piece of real estate. Yes, you heard that right. In Uganda, the tax on personalized license plates is skyrocketing by over 300%. That's like going from a cup of coffee to a 5-course meal at a fancy restaurant. And we're not talking about a cheap eatery here. Imagine waking up one day and the tax on your Be Cool or Ug Rex license plate has jumped from $1,498 to a whopping $5,992. You'd be forgiven for thinking it's a late April Fool's joke, but alas, it's not. So, for all you car enthusiasts out there who've always dreamed of a license plate that screams your personality, you might want to hold off on that dream, at least if you're living in Uganda. And it's not just the car enthusiasts who are affected. Imagine the taxi driver who thought it'd be fun to have Uber Who on his license plate, or the soccer mom who wanted Soccer Mum to proudly display her dedication to her kids' sport. They're all feeling the pinch. This tax increase has many Ugandans questioning whether they'll need to start raiding their children's piggy banks just to afford the new tax. It's a taxing time indeed, and not in a good way. So next time you're thinking about getting hot stuff or too cool for you on your license plate, just remember it might cost you an arm and a leg, or at least a hefty tax bill. But hey, maybe you're thinking it's worth it. I'll be the talk of the town with my snazzy new license plate. And who can blame you? Personalized license plates are the automotive equivalent of a peacock's tail. Flashy, eye-catching, and a bit of a status symbol. They say, look at me, I've got style, I've got panache, and I've got a few extra dollars to throw at a piece of metal. Now, despite the tax increase, there's no denying that these vanity plates still hold a certain appeal. After all, who wouldn't want their car to stand out in a sea of generic numbers and letters? It's your chance to make a statement, to shout your identity to the world as you cruise down the highway. Maybe you're considering Big Spander to let everyone know you're not afraid to splash the cash. Or perhaps Tax M3 as a cheeky nod to the recent tax hikes. Or if you're a fan of irony, how about bargain emblazoned across your bumper? But let's not forget, with this tax increase, you're now looking at shelling out nearly $6,000. That's right, $6,000 for a few square inches of metal and paint. It's enough to make you rethink whether knee bags is really the statement you want to be making. Now, I'm all for self-expression and standing out from the crowd, but at what cost? There's a fine line between unique and quirky and financially reckless, and I reckon this tax increase just might have nudged personalized license plates into the latter category. So, unless your license plate is made of gold and can double as a retirement fund, you might want to reconsider. Now, let's put this into perspective. With $5,992, you could have a pretty fancy dinner. And when I say fancy, I'm not talking about a trip to your local burger joint. I'm talking about a 5-star restaurant, complete with caviar, lobster, and a bottle of champagne that's older than your grandma's favorite rocking chair. But let's not stop there. Why limit ourselves to one night of indulgence? With that kind of money, you could afford a fancy dinner every week for an entire year. Imagine that. 52 nights of fine dining, all on the price of a personalized license plate. And it's not just about food either. Have you ever dreamed of owning a car? Well, with $5,992, you could buy a decent used car. Not a high-end sports car, mind you, but a dependable little hatchback that gets you from point A to point B. Or perhaps you're more of a traveler. Well, with that amount, you could afford a rather extravagant holiday. Picture yourself on a sandy beach in Bali, sipping a cocktail as the sun sets. Or maybe skiing down the slopes of the Swiss Alps. Or even exploring the vibrant streets of Tokyo. All of these could be within your reach, all for the price of a personalized license plate in Uganda. So, you see, it's not just a license plate we're talking about here. It's a choice between expressing your individuality on the back of your car or a whole lot of other exciting possibilities. So remember, folks, personalized license plates might give your car some personality, but they might also give your wallet a serious dent. So, is it worth it? Is the thrill of a custom license plate worth the hefty price tag? Let's break this down, shall we? On the one hand, there's that undeniable appeal. Picture this. You're cruising down the road, your shiny car gleaming in the sunlight, and there it is, your personalized license plate. It's a statement, a bold declaration of your individuality. It could be a nickname, a favorite phrase, or even a clever pun. It's you, in a nutshell, summed up in a few characters on a piece of metal. Imagine the reactions. Aunt Martha squinting at the back of your car and then bursting into laughter when she finally gets the joke. Your friends giving you that nod of approval, a silent acknowledgement of your wit and creativity. And then there's the local barista, glancing out of the coffee shop window, recognizing your car, and having your favorite latte ready before you even step through the door. It's not just a license plate, it's a ticket to local stardom, but let's flip the coin. There's also the risk of attracting the kind of attention you might not want. Let's say you've opted for a plate that's a little, well, controversial. It might be all fun and games until you return to your parked car, only to find it surrounded by a crowd of puzzled, amused, or possibly irate onlookers. And let's not forget about the potential for unwanted attention from those pesky traffic wardens. And then, of course, there's the price. We're talking about a tax increase of over 300% here, pushing the cost from $1,498 to a whopping almost $6,000. That's a lot of zeros, my friends. You could buy a small island for that, or at least a very fancy dinner. In the end, whether a personalized license plate is worth almost $6,000 is a decision only you can make. But remember, if you do decide to take the plunge, make sure you've got a good sense of humor. You're going to need it when you see your next tax bill. Well, folks, that's the lowdown on the high cost of personalized license plates in Uganda. We've journeyed through the taxing times, where the thrill of owning a personalized license plate has turned into a hefty bill. And boy, oh boy, what a bill it is. We're talking about a leap from $1,498 to a staggering $5,992. We've pondered whether it's worth it to have a pricey plate or indulge in a fancy dinner, perhaps even a year's worth of fancy dinners. After all, with that kind of money, you could treat yourself to a lavish feast every day, and still probably have some change left over for a dessert or two. And the final verdict? Well, that's up to you, but let's just say if you're planning on getting a personalized license plate in Uganda anytime soon, you might want to start saving up now. Or perhaps consider investing in a piggy bank or 2, or 10. And on that note, here's a little piece of advice. If you're thinking of asking Santa for a personalized license plate this Christmas, you might want to make sure he's not on a budget. Who knows? With these new tax rates, even Santa might start charging for delivery. If you enjoyed this video and want more witty takes on the latest news, don't forget to subscribe to the Funny Gateway channel. Remember, laughter is the best medicine, and we've got plenty of it to go around.